pink legs propped against my palms, eyes blinking in the sun as if stunned by this autumnal brilliance. As I peered to look for signs of hurt, it lifted itself in one swift motion from cradling hand, flew sure and straight for shelter under shrubs. Minuscule, mortal God, I, for just this day, this hour, this minute, held the power to write this migrant in the book of life. So, hubris, as we know, does it happen? This is next year, at 61. That birthday morning, as I rejoiced to spot breast freckle, bobbing red tail, I had no inkling. Later, the lake fumed platinum, unaffordably rich gray. The sheltered seawall corner, park your wagons here, now lashed by whips of algae-wielding waves. In beach and green susurrations, almost insect-like, kinglets fatly sporting a foot away. I had no inkling of that bang at dusk, thrush on his back, thrush in my hand, breathing red, eyes slowly closing, heart going 2 beats after lowered lids, beak leaving a thin mark, as vivid on my wrist as my life's blood. This is about a phenomenon that, of course, no one understands, and we hear about it often enough. The marine mammals coming on shore to die. Beaching. 1. Blood like smoke curls out of my ears. I hurdle myself against the others. Do not for once follow. I am not leading to silver shoals, will not thread our way among the shifting flows. Blind now, I heave myself, rock, sand, shells shredding my underside, the sheet of fire crackling my body. No longer see, just hear explosions, even in these wrecked ears, only the breathing so easy, breathing to make this end stretch as if from pole to pole. 2. Pilot whales off the Carolinas, dolphins in the Florida Keys, 9 manatees, 1 white whale, female, 1 from a handful left in oceans of this world. Like ours, lungs long for breath, heart pumps and pumps, blood getting bluer with each spurt. Like ours, eyes cloud, limbs grow languid, body falls from those fields of stillness. Unlike ours, tongue cannot, will not tell what they who so long ago shed our heaviness know of what propels them so urgently toward us. This poem is both about full migration and about extinction, as you will see. It's called Beyond the Ear and Eye. We expect gradual decline. Downhill is fast, yet it's a motion we apprehend. But this, one evening to the next, one dawn, one lowering of lids. Take, for instance, cicada rubbing so hard we wonder they don't set trees on fire. So gone, whole canopies seem startled by bird screams. Egrets like exclamation points punctuating a negative print that suddenly empty loses its syntax. We chide ourselves, how inattentive our eye, our ear, that these departures went undetected. But change comes as fast as a drop of lid, that unalterable, unvapored, luminous mirror before shut lips. Going pretty fast here. Okay. This poem is about, we're a very schizophrenic species, basically. We go around, oh my God, extinction of species, let's do something to manage the habitat, blah, blah, blah. Not that we do a whole lot, but we certainly talk a lot about it and get very alarmist. And then something like, a species that was on the decline and was used sort of as a poster child for DDT, devastation, and so on and so forth, suddenly starts recovering and doing well, and we say, wait a second, there are too many of these. We've got to take care of them. Manage them the other way, because all of a sudden they're out of control. Mostly because our interests seem to conflict with these species. For instance, people that don't like goose excrement on golf courses. Really important stuff like that. And fishermen are not particularly, in my experience, they've not really studied the problem. So they blame cormorants for eating up fish, when in effect the cormorants are eating the invasive fish that would eat the young of the sport fish that the fishermen want, and so on and so forth. It's a nice study that I read about this, where it's really not the cormorants, but let's kill them. Cormorants, by the way, were much abused. I don't know if you know the story about how cormorants were Nancy, you know this, right? Yes, they used to put a ring on their necks and send them out fishing, and they would grab a fish, and they would try to swallow it, and they couldn't, and so they'd have to dump it in the fisherman's boat, because they were very efficient fishermen, better than the people who sent them out. I should say fishers, right? But that doesn't sound right. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. And now that people kind of frown on that, plus we really want to go out there with the motorboat and cause a lot of petroleum pollution while we fish, because we want serenity. We don't want to use these cormorants anymore. So anyway, this is an introduction to a poem called No Multitude. And I think about this every time I look at the sky and think how empty it is these days. No multitude. No more clapping clouds blowing away daylight. Now swallows exit registers for those who even notice as mere absence. Few flocks gather thick enough like passenger pigeons to crack the roosting branch, to give soil what soil needs, offending our sense or covert emptying. We now want to go after populations out of control, cormorants, geese, gulls, vultures. We want to prize these as precious because rare, the perverse gourmet's whale steak, collector's single and last egg. Here at Lakeside, empty of its handful, one common tern cries out unanswered. One row of geese, 7 birds in all, shears the blue, settles with splashes, creaks. Silent, the helicopter dragonflies practice for their uncharted, as yet by us, flight. Yes, dragonflies are migratory too. Like monarchs. Butterflies, that is, monarchs. Human monarchs tend to stay put forever. Decapitated. And this is another one, because the closest we come to seeing anything that resembles migration is the incredible flocks of starlings that start gathering in fall. But they're not going anywhere. But we still have a sense of these massive amounts of birds suddenly doing stuff all together, and it's quite marvelous. And scientists are studying the synchronicity of flight from starling flocks, because there's little else to study, that and there are a whole lot of them, and people think it's okay to interfere with them because they're invasive, and we should take care of them too. So anyway, when does something stop being invasive? You know how starlings came here, right? Some idiot decided that he really loved Shakespeare so much that he was going to put all the birds in Shakespeare in Central Park, and they're going to stay there. Hence the house sparrow and the starling. And it's the birds' fault now. Mute swans, too. So, lake disturbances. Cicadas chainsaw the dusk on the rapid ride. A